Shiloh Season, Chapter 8. Sundays were restless. Shiloh's tried 4 times to lure me up to the far meadow where he runs himself in circles, and each time I say, "No, Shiloh," he's confused. We all hear a gun go off somewhere that afternoon. Don't think it's in our woods, but can't be sure. Even Dara Lynn's got an ache to go up there, afraid as she is of snakes. Last summer you couldn't lure her there with 10 ice cream sundaes. But today there's something in the air tells us fall is coming. The wind will get cold, and the path to the meadow will be ice all the way up. If we don't go soon, we'll lose our chance, but we can't, and that's why we got the jumps. It's just after Sunday supper, still light in the sky. Becky's getting cranky, and Dara Lynn's pestering me to play hide and seek with her. I'm hanging on the bag swing, listless-like, twirling myself around and letting one toe of my sneaker drag the dirt. Ma and Pa are inside listening to some man on TV who wants to be the next governor of West Virginia. Who we going to play hide and seek with, I ask her. You hide and then I hide and then you hide. Where's the fun in that? Becky can play, Dara Lynn says. Yeah, yells Becky. Let me play, Marty. And Shiloh can play. Shiloh hears his name and pads over, ready for anything. He don't know what. Why wasn't I born into a family of 9 boys, I'm thinking. A baseball team. I think of my ma being one of 9 children, and how they must have never had lacked for something to do, someone to do it with. The swing keeps turning around, and when I face forward again, there's Dara Lynn and Becky and Shiloh, all lined up, looking at me with begging eyes. Okay, I say. I'm it. You two go hide. I lean my forehead against the rope as the swing goes on in its lazy circle and around. 5, 10, 15, 20, I say. Hide, Becky, I hear Dara Lynn screech. I get to 100 and still hear Becky running around up on the porch. Count to 200. Here I come, ready or not, I yell, and open my eyes. Becky's on the chair on the porch, got a pillow over her, feet sticking out. I smile and play like I don't see her. Go after Dara Lynn instead. I'm looking around in the back of the chicken coop, the shed, but all this time she's behind one of the tires on Dad's Jeep. I get far enough away from that bag swing, and in she comes, her skinny legs flying. That girl can run. Free, she yells, pounding one hand on the bag swing. Becky slides down off the porch chair, and I make like I'm trying to beat her to the swing. I let her pound her little hand on it. Fwee, she sings out. Okay, I got to be it again, I say, and drape one leg over the swing, circling around, my eyes closed. 5, 10, 15. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see Becky starting up the path to the far meadow. Don't you go up there, Becky, I call. She stops and turns around. I bury my head again and go on counting. Then Dara Lynn stubs her toe. Ma tells her not to go barefoot, and she's howling like she broke a leg. I get off the swing again, and Becky's sitting down now on the path, and go see whether Dara Lynn's going to live or die. Ma comes to the door with her scolding look. We're trying to hear what this man has to say, she says, and I tell her I can handle it, so she goes back to the TV. I get Dara Lynn to sit down on a stump and take a good look at her toe. She's dislocated it, is what she's done, because the end part sort of hangs loose, bent to one side. Happened to me twice, I think, so I know. Dara Lynn looks down at it, too, and then she's howling again. Dara Lynn, shut up, I tell her. If you stop yelling for 1 minute, I'll fix it. She stops, but she's got her mouth open, ready to let loose with the next. This is going to hurt for 2 seconds, and then it'll be okay, I say. She's crying now, shaking her head and holding her foot. You got a choice, I say. Either you let me put your toe back in place, it'll hurt for 2 seconds, or you go to Doc Murphy, which do you want to be? Dara Lynn scrunches up her face something fierce, closes her eyes, and tips her head back so she can't peek. Fix it, she says. I hold her foot in my hand, then gently take hold of the end of her bent toe and give it a little tug. Dara Lynn yelps and jerks her foot, but when she looks down again, the toe's back in place. Maybe I should think of becoming a vet, not just a helper. Okay, she sniffles. You got to count to 300 this time, 'cause I have to run slower. I got a perfect hiding place. I sit down on the swing again and count to 300. 5, 10, 15, 20. And when I go out hunting for the girls again, Dara Lynn's got a good hiding place all right inside Dad's Jeep, but it's too hard to get out of in a hurry, and I beat her back to the swing. Then I go looking for Becky. I look behind the bushes, under the steps, on the porch. Ollie, Ollie in, come free. I yell after a while, you're home free, Becky, come on in. But nothing happens. Becky, I call. Dara Lynn joins the search, but Becky's gone.